remember distinctly we were watching the Russell 2000 for a very long time through here. And this is sort of when we got our stock pickers club up and running. Yeah, well, maybe it was around there. I think it was around there. We didn't really do a heck of a lot, but it was fascinating, on this event here, of course, shouldn't we debate mortgaging our future? And they just handed out bucket loads of money. What did the market do? It just exploded higher, right? And then, of course, all the crypto, all the venture cap, all the small cap stocks, right? And Wall Street bets and all. Where's Chak Pak and all his SPACs? You don't hear about SPACs anymore, right? I guess that's all gone by the wayside. But we got to get back. And if anything, and this is a bit bothersome because, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Is that a W? No. Is that a W? No. So what does this mean? What's the rule? V bottoms like to get what? This is where Cole inserts his smartass answer. Actually, I guess Cole's not here. Yes, tested. Thank you. Thank you. This is a bit bothersome, the fact that these are V bottoms, folks. And the weird thing is, right, as you can see that, to all intents and purposes, this was a V bottom. Mind you, there was a bit of a W, but your breakout comes on a move to new highs. That's a bit ugly. I mean, is that value? Interesting how that was a V bottom. And you'd say at some point, this son of a bitch has got to be tested. So did that actually, it looks like that filled in that gap there. I don't know whether we actually have a candle body in that gap though or not. No. Interesting how it traded down to the gap, but it didn't actually fill the gap in. So, I mean, the worst part about this image, folks, is probably, I'm thinking something like there to there to there. Oh, Jesus H. Christ. How bad does this have to get? And I'm not even quite sure. Is that realistic? Something along those lines? This is going to be one hell of a wild ride here, folks. No doubt about it. So, like interestingly enough, can you see how, and then, this was after the .com blow up. Interesting how we don't even have data back here, but do you see how this is a good looking W? And if you just actually draw a line off of that level, that's probably value. Oh, look at that, eh? That would be nasty if that had to happen, eh? But it very well could. I mean, I'm not predicting it, but I don't see any reason why it couldn't. In fact, actually, we could probably even do like an uptrend line. So good old George Benner and his Benner cycles. Geez, I hope you guys all learned this now going forward. Yeah, in a weird sort of way, that is that double bottom. There is the trend line, and notice it seems to come to a confluence somewhere around here. So there could be hell to pay. Now, the interesting thing about this is, let's say the Fed actually is like, well, we get religion and we're going to reduce the balance sheet and we're going to try and rein in all this phony baloney, right? So that means test to that low, right? You see Val. I mean, how many altcoins have I showed you? Remember, we had that crazy ass son of a, elongate. I love that. Right? Do I need to show you guys? I mean, I'll show you. Show me new high, and I'll show you buy. Doge on the range. I don't know whether it's Doge versus USD or Doge versus Bitcoin. Visible. There, I think that's that one. Same thing. Is the stock market sort of like right here, and we still have to go through a year of could be. Interestingly enough, if you maybe did like we'll replay it from like say here, what did the profile look like? All right, so there's your profile. There's your chart. There's your P's and D's. Does this look somewhat like that? Similar. Which really means that we should slam down into this shelf here. Probably, test value in earnest. Probably test these lows. And if this is real, some horrible panic, we actually have to trade back down to value low, which would be nothing more than trading back to a long-term trend line. Also, too, I think you can make the argument, where is the last time we actually had serious long-term structural bottom? Well, it was basically slamming into that top of that value range would be that test. And that would also be a test of that low. Seems perfectly logical to me. So I'm not really necessarily saying that that has to happen and it's going to happen. But what I would say is you should just keep this on this sort of back radar. Reload zones, that would be 78.6. That would actually be extremely normal to see a test down into here. But unfortunately, what it does mean is, oh my goodness. Interesting, as technicians, we can see the writing on the walls. If anything, the market is saying, enough of this nonsense, people. This has to be corrected, and now it's going through the process of correcting this. And this could be ugly for quite a while. And the good part about it is all of you know that this picture isn't going to get healthy again until we actually start seeing these weekly W's come in on the price charts. And I might even argue that this whole way along here, no weekly W. Not really the best looking weekly W. There's a weekly W there. That's not bad. But all of this, and in this whole fucking cocoa world, you should all look at this chart and go, this is bullshit. This is a lie. And what's fascinating, I don't know whether you guys remember this, but as the market was melting down here, right in here, and I made reference in the video yesterday, or whenever the hell I did a video. Was it yesterday? Maybe it was the day before. I said that Mr. Powell himself came out and said that this is not sustainable, what we're doing through here. The insane bailouts and and in this case, it was just, shouldn't we debate mortgage and futures? Shut the fuck up, give them money. That's not good economic policy. That's bad economic policy. But he basically said, and I'd have to agree with him. He said, look, this isn't good, and it will have to be cleaned up later on down the road. But in the middle of a health crisis, that is not the time to address this problem. Guess what, folks? Now is the time that problem is being addressed. And the easiest way for you to all know this, learn it, live it, love it, Mr. Benner told us that in this window, don't have any grand expectations. Just don't. This is the great reset. Now, if we're really lucky and everything goes sort of okay through this, we get some beautiful W action down here through the reset window. We come out the other side and we can all start thinking Lambos again. Sort of, I actually think that our killer buy window is going to come probably about halfway through 2023.